What's up, everyone? Oh, I forgot to play my music. 1 second. I now have music in my videos. Haha. I got an account, and I don't have to worry about copyright stuff or crediting anybody or anything. It's amazing. I pay like 15 bucks a month. So now on, all my videos will have music. And it hasn't started yet because I think it's going to the next one, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. So this video is a tutorial of, not a tutorial, sorry, it's an overview of the Hydra Lister tool. And I'm going to go over the main kind of points that you can use this tool for. As you can see, there's a lot of different options here. And if you watch the previous video summarizing the landing page, then you're going to understand most of these because they're just kind of duplicates. But I want to demystify Hydra Lister as much as possible so that you guys can really understand it inside and out, right? So we just did a video going over the landing page, which is the website you see if you go to hydralister.com. That is different than the actual tool itself, which is app.hydralister.com. And this is common for most tools. They have a page to kind of advertise their tool, talk about it, show you what it does, have contact information, all that kind of stuff, and address its features. And then you have a link to launch the tool, and then that's just a link to this different website, which is where the tool itself is. And you can't get access to this unless you have either a free trial activated or you have an active Hydra Lister account. Okay? So once you've logged in, you're going to see this dashboard. And I honestly don't, there's ways to make it so that this syncs up with all your eBay sales and your profit and that kind of thing. But I already know what all that is, so I don't worry about spending extra time to make sure it shows up properly here. I just want to use Hydra Lister to make my listings and do all that kind of stuff, right? So if you're using Hydra Lister for the first time, there's one main thing that you need to understand. And that's that you need to link Hydra Lister to two places. You're most likely also using SkuGrid, so you will need to go into your settings, your keys here, and you need to connect to SkuGrid. And then you also need to connect to eBay. As long as you do both of these things, then Hydra Lister is going to know, okay, this is the account that I'm posting items on, and this is the SkuGrid account that is monitoring my items. If you fail to make one of those two connections, then you're going to have issues. Like, you're not going to be able to post things in the first place because Hydra's not going to know what account it's supposed to post the items on, and you're not going to have repricing because Hydra's not going to know what SkuGrid account it needs to sync up the items with, okay? So that's the two most important things, is that you set up your keys straight away, because without your keys being set up, then nothing's going to work. And the keys are really easy to set up. You just go to keys, and then you click connect, you log into eBay, and then you click OK. And then you click SkuGrid connection, connect, log into SkuGrid. You do the same thing. You just log in through Hydra Lister, and then you click save. And then from that point, everything's going to be okay. All right? So now let's go over all of these different options. And I'm not going to talk about every single one of them because we've already gone over some of them. I'm just going to talk about the main ones that I use. So the dashboard is basically the home page. And there's not really anything here that I use too much. You can find other tools, right? SkuGrid, a link to SkuGrid is here, ProfitSku, that kind of thing. ProfitSku is a scraper, so it just like finds items that other people are selling already. They're more and more common nowadays. So if you want to contact them, you can do so right here, and that's really good if you're having some kind of problem. I encourage you to contact the customer support. Most of us just kind of wait, and we don't send the ticket, and we look elsewhere, and by the time we get around to contacting the customer support, we could have contacted them at the very beginning, gone out, had some lunch, done something else, had a drink, and then like the problem would be resolved when we get back. So it's always better to contact customer support as soon as you know something's wrong, and then do the research to try and see how to fix it, okay? So now that we've gone over the overview, underneath the overview is a logout button. And there's also these three things here that make it bigger and smaller, right? Pretty standard stuff. Now, the single lister is what I talked about earlier. And the way this works is you have one URL, and now instead of just talking, I'm going to show you. You have one URL here, right? And you go in and you paste that, and then you click add new item. And now this is going to take a little bit to load, especially because I'm uploading some videos and playing some music and doing some other stuff right now. So why is it All right, let's restart our playlist here. Yeah, I got to the end of it and then stopped. Okay. So this is going to load, and then it's going to have a field of every single... So it's going to show the title, and we're going to be able to edit it. And it's going to show the description, and we're going to be able to edit it. It's also going to have these specifications. We're going to be able to edit it and change things, right? So what else? What else? It's going to have the pricing. It's going to increase the price based on my pricing rule. So that's the second thing that, another thing that we'll go over. Because what's really important is that you understand your keys, how to set those up, and then also how to set up your pricing settings. Because if you don't have your pricing set up, then you're going to get sales, because it's easy to sell items that are, you know, not profitable, but you're not going to earn any money on them, right? So here is what happens after the single item lister loads. Alright, you have a bunch of settings over here. It shows what possible variations the item has, and it's going to go with the default variation. You can use this box to actually post variations by just clicking here and clicking on the variation. It's going to change that, and then you need to make sure that you update all of the pictures accordingly, right? So it has a quantity, the brand, it's pulled the UPC code, it's pulled the model number, and it's made a price up based on my pricing rules. So in this situation, the pricing rules that it used was $19.88. That's the base cost of the item, right? But Walmart also has a $6 shipping charge for items that are under $35. Okay, so it's going to be $19.88 plus $5.99, and then multiplied by 1. I think I'm using 1.3, but I might be wrong. So that would be $33. And it tried to post it at $34.92. So I'm using probably like 1.35 or something like that. But that's how it gets the posted price. So this ensures that when the price gets posted, or the item gets posted, and if it sells, then we're actually making some profit, right? So you can override the price by changing it, right? Clicking here. And keep in mind that SkuGrid is always going to reprice to a fixed price if you put it here, or if you say like $36, right? It's going to look at this % margin, and that margin is going to be what determines the future price of the item. Because if you override this, what that means is you're using a different pricing markup for this particular item. Okay, and SkuGrid is going to remember that and always reprice based on this. It's always going to figure, okay, the source is this cost, $19.88 plus $6 of shipping. Okay, side note, technically you also will pay sales tax unless you have sales tax exemption, but that isn't factored in here. So it's good to use a higher margin so that you can cover sales tax, right? So it's going to take the $19.88, it's going to add the shipping cost, which is $5.99, and then it's going to multiply it by the fixed margin, which is the margin, which is 39.16, and it's going to pick that margin based on whatever price you put here. So I usually don't use individual prices. I just have one pricing rule that works for everything, but as you can see, depending on what you're trying to do, there's different options. So over here we can edit the title, and this is going to be the part that is used the most, because the titles are the biggest way to make a difference is to optimize your title. Make sure you have as many words as possible and they're relevant keywords that people are searching for. So there's a little link here that you can click that finds the competition, and this will search eBay for items of this nature that are for sale and then show you what's available. I personally don't do any kind of competition research, but you know, for those of you who do, that's a good tool. You can also click Get Keywords, and it's going to search for similar keywords based on this, very similar to using a tool like Title Builder, right? So if we go to Title Builder, you could go click here, and then you could type in like Nerf gun. And then Title Builder is going to come up with some similar keywords, see? Nerf gun, strike blaster, dart, toys, elite, kids, new series, all that kind of stuff, right? Awesome. So now let's go back to our Hydra thing. And it still hasn't loaded the keywords, so we're not going to worry about that too much. Again, I am in Nicaragua right now, and I have like 4 megabit internet, so I don't have the fastest internet. So sometimes things take a while to load, okay? So we have our title, we have the item specifics that were pulled from the web page, and then you also have all of the pictures that are available. And you can reorganize these as you want. I think I don't remember how you reorganize them. You can turn the whole gallery off if you just want to disable everything and upload your own pictures. If you click star, that's going to set it as the main picture. I don't know how you can change the order. I don't know if you can change the order. Maybe you can't. You can rename the picture as well if you want to. Some people believe that renaming the pictures gives you better search result performance. And then the last area we have is our description. So I have a kind of format for items set up, right? So you have like your title and description, and it pulls everything. And you're going to see that it's a little bit different. See, it's not identical to the Walmart listing. It uses the same text, but it's formatted differently. And that's because we have templates set up. Okay? So I'll do a video about how to use templates later. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, because the things that you're going to be doing a lot are using the single item lister and the batch lister, maybe the thunder lister, and maybe the draft lister. So I'm just going to explain these different listers and how they work, and then that will be the end of this video. So once you've gone over everything else, you would click list item here, and then it would load and then either reject it or accept it. Sometimes it'll reject it if like the item's already been posted, or there's a couple other things, right? So, and one other thing to note, if you noticed when I clicked on single lister, it showed the field, but then when I pasted the link into the field, it took a while to load. And some of you guys might be like, oh, that's a slow tool. I don't want to, like, that's going to take forever if I have to wait for that link. So you can really easily work around this. Watch. All you got to do is just have multiple Hydra listers open, right? And so what you're going to do is have like maybe 10 open, and then you're going to paste a link in here, click add new item. Paste a link in here, click add new item. Paste a link in here, click add new item. Paste a link in here, click add new item. And then by the time you get done with your list and go back to the beginning, then hopefully it's loaded the web page and you can move on with all 4 of them. So you'll often find that all 4 load at the exact same time. So it takes usually about 1 listing the same amount of time to load as it does 4. So you can work around that lag before you get to the field where you can post your items by working with multiple tabs at once. All right? Okay, so now we've gone over the single item lister. So now because the draft lister is pretty similar, or the batch lister is pretty similar, let's go over that next. So the way this works is instead of posting 1 link, you would have multiple links. Like I've posted like tens of thousands of links in here, but I think you're not supposed to use more than like 2,000. So if you want to post more than that, then again, you just open multiple pages and do different, like one batch of 2,000, another batch 2,000, another batch, that kind of thing. So here you work with lists of items instead of 1 link at a time. And so the way this is going to work is when we click launch, it's actually not going to take us to the page that shows all the different variations, because it's doing that for a bunch of links. What's going to happen is it's going to post every single one of these items as if we just entered the single item lister and then it left everything as its default value. The title is going to be the same, the price is going to be the same based on our pricing, and then it's going to get entered. So the batch lister just does the single item lister tons and tons and tons of times, but doesn't give you the opportunity to edit anything. So if you want to edit stuff in the batch lister, then you would have to post the listing and then edit it after the listing gets posted to eBay. And there's some kind of controversy about whether that's good or not, because some people swear by it. They post by the batch lister and then they optimize the titles as the item gets posted to eBay. But other people think that that's bad. They think that if you don't have the title already optimized when it gets posted to eBay, then it's not going to perform as well. And honestly, I've heard so many different opinions about it from so many different people, some reputable, some not reputable. I have no idea which one is true, so I can't help you much there. But moving on to the draft lister. The draft lister is a way to kind of work around that. So the draft lister and the batch lister are the same, basically, except the batch lister posts a list of items to your eBay account. The draft lister posts a list of items as drafts to your eBay account. So then all the information will be filled in, and you can just go down your drafts on your eBay account, change the titles, and then post them, right? Everything else is done, so all you have to do is just do the titles. And that's going to allow you to kind of work around if you're worried about posting posting items and then them not having optimized titles as soon as they're posted, and you want to make sure that they start their existence with optimized titles, you can make a big batch using the draft lister, and then just go into your eBay account and finish the items off there, okay? And then we have the Thunder Lister. And honestly, guys, I do not know what the Thunder Lister is. So let's experiment a little bit here. As far as I can tell, it is very, very similar to the single item lister. I don't really understand what's different about it. You can only post one item. So let's try this. We're going to copy that link address. I'm just going to have a bunch of referral information. You want to make sure that you're... Oh, no, that didn't work. Sorry, we clicked the wrong kind of ad there. Here we go. Now, see, everything after the question mark is referral information. You want to make sure that you only copy the base of the link, right? So we're going to add this with Thunder Lister and see what happens. I think it's like single item lister, but it's a slightly more optimized version of it. Alright, it's probably going to take a minute to load. So while it's loading, I'm going to go over some of the settings here. Because what I've shown you now, the listers, you are not going to be able to use the required settings. Oh yeah, I've never set up Thunder Lister, so it's not going to work. Okay, that's fine. You are not going to be able to use these listers until you've set up your settings properly. Alright? And the way you need to do this is you need to have like eBay settings set up in your eBay account, so you need to have opted into business policies and have those set up, and a couple other things. But each respective tool has its settings, right? So the batch and the single lister have the same settings, and then Thunder Lister has separate settings, right? So we'll go over all of these settings, I think, in another video, because I just wanted to do this video as an overview of what Hydra Lister is, so that you guys can understand what it does once you've got it working, right? Now I'll do a series of tutorials showing you how to set up each specific area, okay? Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Ciao!